WeatherTech.com to order today. WeatherTech, the ultimate protection for your vehicle this winter.
Good morning, America. The survivors of that Florida school massacre prepare to confront lawmakers as students stage a lie-in right outside the White House.
Shame on you.
What our new poll reveals about Americans and guns and President Trump's response.
Disturbing new allegations. A former friend of the accused school shooter now telling her story, saying Nicholas Cruz stalked her, tried to sell knives at school, her interview.
Even before they announced that he was the shooter, we all knew it was Nick.
Only on GMA.
Winter weather warning. 30 million coast to coast bracing for snow, heavy rain, and ice. Whiteout conditions causing hundreds of accidents, and restaurants and playgrounds now underwater in the Midwest.
And a woman caught on camera upset about sitting next to a baby on a plane is now facing backlash. Why the mom who filmed it is now coming to that woman's defense.
And family affair. The so-called Shib-Sib stunning on the ice, taking home a medal. But another American pair facing a devastating fall, plus the new fallout over doping.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
And good morning, America. We hope you are well this Tuesday morning. It will be another emotional day in Florida. Those teens who survived the school shooting on a mission now, they are heading to their state capital.
This as family and friends gather to remember the victims of the massacre.
They will not be forgotten. Also yesterday, the shooter, Nicholas Cruz, appeared in court. ABC's Adrian Bankert is in Parkland with more on this and the students' mission going forward. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning to you too, Robin. It is another day of funerals and another day of fighting for gun reform. The student-led movement, Never Again, has moved well beyond Florida, but their next step is to meet with those state lawmakers. This is not a field trip.
This is a student movement.
Students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High prepared to meet legislators today in Tallahassee.
We are focusing on gun rights and mental health. There aren't a lot of bills focusing on mental health, and we hope to change that.
The bus ride to Florida's capital is to advocate for their slain classmates.
Well, it's definitely going to be really hard because Helena, she sat next to me in my psych class, and now there's always going to be just an empty spot there.
And insist on gun reform. It's giving some of them a powerful diversion from the pain.
Going to Tallahassee and trying to do something about it, I feel like that's helping a lot, getting our minds off of it.
I'm committed to making sure no child is going to be scared going to a classroom. That's what they're going to achieve.
As loved ones said final goodbyes to Luke Hoyer and Elena Petty, rallies were held all over the U.S. in remembrance of the 17 who were murdered.
Enough is enough!
Grassroots protests in downtown Los Angeles.
Shame on you!
17 youth from the group Teens for Gun Reform, each representing a life lost, staged a die-in at the White House. And in Plantation, Florida, students marched outside their campus. It was also a day of remembrance Monday. The Florida PTA held a statewide vigil in 4 cities. And while still grieving, administrators get ready to reopen the campus. MSD Principal Ty Thompson recording this robocall for parents.
A huge part of the healing process involves bringing our Eagle family back together. We will begin by inviting all students and parents to a voluntary campus orientation event on Sunday.
And teachers will return to their work schedules this weekend, but it won't be until next Wednesday when the students resume their normal class schedules. Undoubtedly, it will be a new normal. Robin?
Undoubtedly. All right, Adrian, thank you.
Okay, I want to bring in our Washington team, Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas, Chief White House Correspondent John Carl. Pierre, let's start with you. Evidence that Russian bots pounced on the shooting to stir up divisions in the same way they did during the 2016 election.
George, good morning. This follows a pattern. The Russians have been very active since the election. Every time there's been a recent controversy, whether it's been the NFL take a knee issue, which involved President Trump, major issues of race, immigration, and gun violence, they've tried to intensify the debate. Last week, the nation's top intelligence officials reminded that the Russians are still meddling and that they're coming in the 2018 congressional midterms. So this is an ongoing issue and not a surprise that they would try to take advantage of that horrific tragedy in Florida. In this case, there are reports of Twitter accounts suspected of ties to Russians pushing articles and videos to exacerbate feelings on each side of the gun control debate. The idea is to push stories on both sides of the debate to inflame passions and sow discord. It's what the Justice Department calls an information information warfare, an assault on our very democracy, George.
Exploiting divisions that are already there. Okay, Pierre, let's bring in John Carl. And John, those divisions evident in our new poll with the Washington Post, but it does show Americans united on being unhappy with Washington. 77% say Congress not doing enough. 62% say President Trump not doing enough.
And there's a real interesting numbers in this poll about who they see is to blame or what's to blame for these shootings. First of all, regarding the Parkland shooting specifically, 58% of those surveyed said that it could have been prevented with stricter gun control. But look at this, George, 77%, much more, say it could have been prevented with better mental health monitoring. And then when we asked the question about mass shootings generally, this is very interesting. 57% said that mental health, inadequate monitoring of mental health was more to blame, and 28% say inadequate gun control. And George, as for the big proposal that you hear so many talking about, an assault weapons ban, the country is evenly divided on that, almost exactly evenly divided between those opposing a ban and those favoring a ban.
We are seeing the President Trump open to more background checks, new legislation on background checks.
Yeah, he has, his press secretary has suggested he's in favor of something to strengthen the background check system. There is a bipartisan proposal on that. It's also something that is that the NRA favors, so it's not exactly a new gun control measure.
On another front, his on-again, off-again relationship with Mitt Romney, now a U.S. Senate candidate in Utah, back on?
It's back on. Romney is announcing that he is running for Senate. The president made it clear immediately following that announcement that he is endorsing and supporting Romney, thinks he'd be a good addition to the Senate. Romney says he appreciates that endorsement. But George, as you remember, Romney during the campaign said this about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University. Apparently those are now words that are, well, water under the bridge.
A lot of words to swallow there. One final thing, the president going to be focusing more on this school and gun violence the rest of this week.
He is, including tomorrow, we are told the president will hold a listening session with students and teachers, high school students and high school teachers. No details from the White House as to exactly who will be here, but it will be a listening session at the White House with the president.
Okay, John Carl, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. We're going to bring in Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams. And Dan, we're seeing these images of these teens. They're going to face lawmakers about gun control. And Nicholas Cruz, he bought 7 guns, all legally. Yeah. All legally. So give us a reality check of what gun control measures could make a difference.
Well, you got to look at this in 2 ways. First, there are the possible laws that target people, and then there are the possible laws that target the weapons themselves. When you talk about the people, you're talking about enhanced background checks. And it seems that some form of either making sure that the current laws are better enforced or enhanced background checks could have a decent chance of getting passed. The assault weapon legislation gets trickier. Now remember, we used to have, in 1994 to 2004, we had an assault weapon ban. The problem is, how do you define an assault weapon? Meaning, you can change one little thing on a gun, a bayonet, a pistol grip, something else like that, and suddenly you've turned what was an illegal assault weapon into a legal weapon. So this is tricky, tricky stuff that gets really down into the details and is incredibly divisive.
And I'm sure that is the case. And we're going to turn now to the court case for Nicholas Cruz. His defense attorney said, you know what, if you take the death penalty off the table, we'll plead guilty. Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility. I think the first thing prosecutors are going to want to do here is talk to the families of the victims. They don't have to. It's not up to the victims to decide. But in a case like this, it's the first thing you want to do. You want to say to them, look, if we can spare you having to go into court and having to testify, is it worth us taking the death penalty off the table? They're going to survey, I think, all the victims in this case first to figure out how do they feel about it before making a decision. They don't have to agree to something like this. They can move forward and decide we're still going to prosecute, we're still going to win this case, and we're still going to pursue the death penalty.
But it's ultimately the prosecutor's decision.
It is, absolutely.
Okay, and on GMA yesterday, I spoke with Kimberly and James Sneed, who took Nicholas Cruz in for 3 months before all of this happened, and I asked them what he was like at home when he was there with them.
Nothing like they portray on television or in the media. In the
everything everybody seems to know, we didn't know. We had rules, and he followed every rule to the T. And he was very polite. He seemed normal.
And you hear them say there, he seemed normal. Asked him that morning, was anything out of the usual? He said no. Does that help the prosecution?
It could if he pursues an insanity defense, because part of the defense would be he didn't understand right from wrong. And you hear the parents there saying, Yeah, he understood right from wrong.
Yeah, but the parents say they didn't know anything. Not the parents. I mean, the family he was saying would say they didn't know anything. But there are a lot of other warning signs out there. One of the other ideas that's being talked about, and I haven't heard a lot about this in the past, is the idea that someone who sees a friend or family member exhibiting dangerous signs, they can seek a restraining order now against that person.
Yeah, that's right. And the closer the relationship, the easier it is to pass legislation that makes sense. Meaning, we can't sort of pass laws across the board that say anyone who sees something risky or something suspicious is legally required. Now, you can say if you have a very personal relationship, it's a parent-child, or it's something egregious, etc., that's a different issue. But again, it gets tricky in terms of defining when do you cross that line.
Okay. Dan, thank you very much.
But it's a discussion very much needed.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
It's tricky, it's difficult, but come on. We've got to move forward.
And I got to say, these students, they're sticking to it.
And they would say, even if you do something here, that's right, no matter, you know, how big it is, that's important in and of itself.
Something about the age limit. I mean, why does a 19-year-old need an assault weapon?
Yep. Can't buy a beer in Florida, but can buy an assault weapon.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to shift our focus now to that extreme weather across the country. 30 states, coast to coast, slammed with snow, flooding, ice, and now more dangerous weather is on the way. Rob, you're going to tracking that for us. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Robin. This is a huge, all-encompassing system. We got energy driving down across the northwest, moisture streaming up from the southwest and into the Great Lakes. Look at all these advisories. We've got winter weather advisories from the northwest into the Intermountain West and the northern plains. Flood watches, that's going to be a huge issue. Even lake wind advisories across the Arctic, across the entire country. It is a mess this morning. Hazardous weather from coast to coast, slamming 30 states. Hail pummeling Beverly Hills. Snow blanketing the Midwest. This car swerving lanes, barely avoiding collision in South Dakota. Slick roads causing this pileup in Salt Lake City, shutting down Interstate 80. Whiteout conditions causing more than 100 accidents and counting. Major flooding in the Ohio River Valley. Restaurants and playgrounds underwater in Kentucky. The Ohio River threatening to reach up to 55 feet by Wednesday. That's 30 feet above normal. A state of emergency declared.
We just got to make sure you move the vehicles out of here because it comes up. Sometimes it comes up really quick and then it's like, uh-oh, your car's underwater. Go get your car.
More rain on the way from Texas all the way up into Canada. And some of that rain is freezing. We've had ice across parts of Green Bay and Wisconsin. People scraping away there this morning. Freezing rain and sleet with thunder and lightning across Kansas City and more rain for Chicago and Detroit. And this is going to be really a 48-hour system. So heavy rain here with more flooding anticipated really from the Canadian border all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. More on that plus the warm air later in the program. Robin?
Warm air. Yes.
Warm air.
We'll take it.
Sounds good. And now we're going to go to a new scandal that's rocking the Olympics this morning. A third athlete is facing doping accusations. Our senior national correspondent, Matt Gutman, is in South Korea with the latest. Good morning to you, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. And this doping incident might have had a direct impact on American athletes. A male Slovenian hockey player failed a drug test on the very same day that his team beat the Americans 3-2. Now, that athlete has been suspended from the games. He's been kicked out of Pyeongchang. And the drug that he's accused of having used is an asthma medication. Now, a Japanese speed skater has also been ejected from the games after failing a drug test. And Olympic officials here tell us that they have instituted what is arguably the most strict anti-doping regimen in history. Every single athlete at these games is tested, and then anyone who wins a medal is tested yet again. And that is what happened in the case that has rocked the curling world. And that is the case of a Russian male curler in the mixed doubles team who has failed 2 drug tests, and he is accused of having doped. He has been kicked out, ejected, and now the Russians risk losing their bronze medal, which they won in that mixed curls doubles. Michael?
Matt, I don't want to minimize curling, but why are you doping in curling?
You know, we've actually done some research into this, Michael, and it's apparently much more strenuous than you would think. There's a lot of that very vigorous brushing, and then when you deliver the stone down that ice, you have to have absolute precision, so stamina actually does matter. And it might be worth noting that this Russian athlete who failed those 2 drug tests has said that his drink was spiked. He says that one of his teammates actually sabotaged him, and now the Russian Olympic Committee says that it's investigating because it has found no evidence that he systemically or intentionally took any drugs. Michael.
All right.
When I was covering the games, and we said Torino, I did curling. It is very vigorous.
Okay.
It is. I wouldn't dope for it, but I mean, I'm just saying, I'm agreeing with what he said. It looks harder than it actually is.
I get it, but come on. Now, flexibility, you need to take some yoga, but I don't know about the doping. And Team USA seeing some success overnight. Those famous figure skating siblings claiming bronze in the ice dance, and freestyle skier Britta Sigourney soaring onto the podium in women's halfpipe. Let's go to Amy in Pyeongchang for all the excitement. Hey there, Amy.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement, guys. What a day here in Pyeongchang for Team USA. Freestyle skier Britta Sigourney not only making her Olympic debut at these games, but also earning herself that bronze medal. And yes, on the ice, the Shibutani siblings winning their second medal here after an emotional and history-making performance. Maya and Alex Shibutani electrified the crowd here, becoming the first brother-sister duo in U.S. history to medal in Olympic ice dancing.
And again, finding that emotional breakthrough today in the free dance.
Taking home the bronze, their second medal in these games. Former U.S. Olympic gold medal winner Merrill Davis tweeted out this clip of Maya and Alex playing together as children, adding, "Hugs then, hugs now." It wasn't such a happy ending for another pair of American ice dancers, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates.
Oh no.
And that is a disaster.
Whose skates became entangled, causing a brutal fall on the ice.
I don't even know how you carry on with the rest of the program.
The distraught couple finished in 9th place. Up on the mountain, happier news for Team USA after this gravity-defying bronze-winning outing by Britta Sigourney.
Sigourney, here comes the 9. Gets it.
The 28-year-old overcame 8 surgeries to fly into 3rd place in the women's freestyle halfpipe, giving Sigourney her first Olympic medal.
Big 720, super cleanly executed for the American.
Her teammate, defending gold medalist Maddie Bowman, unable to complete her final trick in each run of the finals.
All her trouble, does she have the right 9? Oh!
In her last attempt, the American skier slamming her head hard enough on the snow to crack her helmet. After her tough fall, Bowman able to get up and leave on her own.
Lacho lost his stick. Shot by Donato. He scores!
Another chance at glory for the American men's hockey team. They defeated Slovakia 5-1 to earn a place in the quarterfinals. The U.S. hasn't won gold since the Miracle on Ice in 1980. You believe in miracles? Yes! That team was made up of all college players, and so is this year's, because the NHL would not release its players to compete in the Olympics. And the U.S. men's hockey team faces off against the Czech Republic in the quarterfinals. That happens tonight. Let's take a look at the medal count right now. Team USA in 5th overall with a total of 12 medals, 5 of them gold. Norway still in that top spot with 28 medals, 11 are gold. Germany is close behind with a total of 10 gold medals. Michael,
all right,
guys, back to you.
Thank you, Amy. Britta Sigourney, 8 surgeries. Wow. Back out there competing, win the bronze. Congratulations to her.
Let's go back to Rob now. Bringing a day of spring here to New York.
I heard you guys cheering earlier for the spring weather, but with that, this time of year, you get some fog. New York City, Philadelphia, you're going to have some travel delays, but temperatures will be approaching records today and tomorrow. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like pancakes this morning. Tuesday Trivia, brought to you by IHOP.
A literal fork in the road. If I go this way, I could pancake some pancakes, but if I go that way, I could omelette some omelettes. Do I pancake? Or do I omelette?
Hey! Just go to IHOP. They have all kind of omelets that come with pancakes.
Where is this IHOP?
It's right there. Don't leave that horse.
IHOP's omelets come with pancakes.
Some morning fog an issue today and even for tomorrow morning on the roads and by air. So if you're traveling, make sure you check with your carrier up toward Boston, New York City, and down south toward Raleigh, even Atlanta, Georgia. Now, our temperatures are going to be topping out in the lower 70s today, mid 70s with record warmth coming your way tomorrow, but with a few additional clouds. And then rain for Thursday. In fact, we'll have several days of it. It'll take you through your Friday and, in fact, also through your weekend with highs in the 60s.
And coming up here, the schoolmate who says she was stalked by shooter Nicholas Cruz. She's telling her story now. Says she and her friends reported to school officials multiple times.
With the right guidance, this is saving